All right, brother. So what I was telling you last time, the message was that inside me was I was growing a will to change, bro. Amidst this life that I was living, and I started feeling like a hypocrite, bro. I started feeling like a liar. I started feeling fake. I started feeling a lot of different things, but I kept on pushing. I kept on pushing because I felt like a lot of people were looking up to me, were looking to me, and I didn't want to let them down, bro. I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to it's the same thing, the same mentality that I had as a child, that I didn't want to disappoint my homies or make my hood look bad, was the same mentality that has driven me this entire time that I was incarcerated, bro. And but slowly but surely, I started changing through writing, bro. Through writing, I started writing poems that were deeply embedded in my emotions, bro. And examining those emotions and examining the lifestyle through a critical way of seeing it, instead of just partaking in the events that were as they were unfolding. Started beginning to change my mentality. It started to in a way another way to say to sanctify me for other work or other things that I was doing, bro. So I was still running into these circumstances because I was a gang member. I was still entrenched in the gang. So I would go through CGA and running CGA, Criminal Gang Members Anonymous, and talking about change and how my mentality was as a child, and then go straight into the yard and put my mask back on and be like, yeah, bro, what's cracking? Who needs to be removed? Blah 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 blah. And one of the circumstances that I confronted was I end up finding out somebody comes up to me and says, hey, fool, the two fighters are planning to stab you, bro. They're planning to stab you real soon, bro. So me and my brothers, I go out to the yard and I tell my brothers, hey, bro, these fools are trying to, I'm hearing that these fools are trying to stab me. So we go over there, bro. We about 6 of us go straight over to their table, and we hit them up, bro. We walk up, tell them, hey, bro, you fools are saying that you guys are gonna stab. We didn't say who it was, but we're like, hey, fool, you guys are planning stabbing on an independent rider, bro. It's just not gonna happen, bro. We could boot it right now, and I'm the one talking. So as I'm talking, fool, I hear
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Some of the two fibers with the right mind, with the mentality that hey, bro, with the mentality that was a little bit more humble, a little bit more level-headed, were right there speaking to me, and they were like, look, fool, we wouldn't let nobody put their hands on somebody without us voting first. So that's out, bro, but who's telling you this? So I end up telling them, hey, bro, look, one of your own brothers is saying that they're going to stab me, dog. You fools are planning to stab me. So what ends up happening is these fools are like, hey, fool, well, tell us who it is. And one of my brothers tells them, hey, bro, it was this person. So we all get up on our sides, there's the All-Stars and the IRs, and we were in an alliance against the two fibers. So the two fibers on one side of the yard, the All-Stars and the IRs on the other side of the yard, and we're all strapped up, but we're waiting because the two fibers made an agreement that, hey, if that they're not gonna put their hands on me, and they were gonna remove somebody that ends up saying this, putting this into the ether. So as we're waiting, the two fibers are like, hey, fool, they come over to me and they're like, hey, fool, we're just going to stab this dude for trying to kick off a riot amongst us, fool. So I'm sitting there, bro, and I'm I'm going through the motion, bro, and I'm just putting my game face on, and they end up jumping on old boy. As they're jumping on old boy, some of his homies from his area, from West LA, because he was from 18th Street, so some of his homies jump up for him, and it kicked off a little riot. And the two fibers, it was us, the two fibers, the All-Stars, and the IRs against a crowd of 9. A crowd of 9 dudes, bro, and we're just maxing them out. We're beating them up. But I left that encounter aware, bro, that there was a plot on my life, bro. They somewhat admitted to it, but they were like, hey, well, we wouldn't act on it unless all our brothers agreed, and none of we're disagreeing with that, so it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm like entering like this phase, bro, where I'm like damn, bro, I know that what I've done is I've kicked off riots against the 2-5ers. I've stabbed some. I've stabbed a Northern Rider. So in my conscience, I'm like, bro, I can never walk away from this. This is the life I chose. This is the path I chose. I'm stuck with it, bro. I got to do what I got to do. As a man, I just got to all right, bro, like I know that my heart's not into it. And there was times when I was in my cell, and I would sit there and I'd be writing, and there was a time where I just dropped my pen and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, I don't want to be an IR, bro. Like, I really don't. I'm like, and I'm really grappling with these thoughts that are different, but I also know that to walk away from that, there's going to be repercussions. There's going to be a backlash. So right after that incident with the 2-5ers, I encountered another incident, and it's another threat on my life. Like, I just, out of nowhere, I just remember that my cellie tells me, hey, fool, read this kite. And I read it, and it's about the 2-5ers, and that they're going to confront me. They're going to find out something between me and another individual that was an all-star. And, that if it goes bad, that they're going to stab me. So I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do, bro? And my Sally, he was like really timid. He's like, I don't know, bro. I think we should just wait. And I was the MAC rep for the IRs at the time, so I had lineage to go walk in and out of different blocks. I could go they understood that I was an influential person. So the administration was like, look, just give him the opportunity to go to and from blocks to pass the word that he needs to pass around. Let him do what he does, because he'll keep him under control. So I end up like, man, I'm in my head, bro, this whole time, bro. I have a Sally that doesn't have my back at all, and I'm just sitting there like, man, bro, like, what do I do? Do I just wait until they approach me? So they call me for medical, and I'm like, man, I sat there, like, as I'm getting dressed, I look at my Sally, and I'm thinking, like, what's my best option, bro? Like, what do I do? So I'm thinking, like, man, I'm just gonna confront it. Like, this is what it's gonna be. So I remember I was taking up I get a knife that I had hidden in the day room. I dig it out. As I walk out the door, the staff's even asking me, like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm packing a kite. Don't worry, I'm doing something. I'm busy. That fool just leaves me alone. But I get this knife out, and I start walking to medical. As I'm walking to medical, I see one of my homeboys from MS. He's an IR, and he's like, hey, fool, what's up, fool? What do you want to do? And I'm like, let's just go inside and thing. There's all-stars and 2-5ers. Like, we're just going to confront them, bro. Like, so I remember as I walked into the gym, bro, I see one cop, and his face dropped, like, oh, and so I push the door open, and I walk through, and I look, and there's 4 2-5ers, and there's 2 all-stars, and they're like in a heated conversation, and they see me, they all look at me, and then their face it changed. They just looked at me like, what's going to go on right now? So they went back to their conversation, and I remember walking up, and I had my hand on my knife, and I'm walking up to them. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up, fool? I'm right here. What do you guys want to do? And they said, hey, bro, the 2-5ers like, hey, bro, we're going to get at you right now. So I'm like, all right. So I go to the back of the wall, and I'm conversing with my homeboy, and I'm talking about him like, hey, fool, like, whatever's going to happen right now is going to happen, bro. Like, we have no control. It's one of those things where we're either going to run like men, or we're going to either run or we're going to stand like men, and this is the mentality I was in. So I'm like waiting for these dudes to call me over. The all-stars and the 2-5ers are arguing amongst themselves. So one of the 2-5ers walks and he approaches me and he says, hey, fool, are you willing to say to this man's face what you were telling the homie? And it was that he was snitching on the cop. That same cop that face broke, like he looked at me all weird, was the same cop that he was telling to, bro. But so I go like, hell yeah, fool, just call this fool over here. And I'm calling this fool over, like, get over here, bro. Let me tell you, bro. And he's freezing up, like, nah, bro, like, we'll talk later. So I talked to the 2-5ers, and the 2-5ers are like, look, fool, obviously you're not lying, fool. You're confronting, like, you're doing the G thing, fool. So this fool doesn't want to talk to you. Obviously, fool, you were right. So we're gonna just, hey, fool, we're gonna push for this fool to get stripped. Are you guys behind us? And me as the Mac rep, as the person that is most involved, and as an influential person, one of the founders of the Marcianos clique, I tell them like, yeah, bro, we're gonna get behind you. Let me just go to all the blocks, tell all my brothers, and I'll put that in cement, bro. It's like, all right. So I do what I do. I campaign. I go back out. Then the rumor was that he was going to stab me. This individual was going to stab me and blah, blah, blah. So what ends up happening to him is they end up packing him out. They end up 3-on-1ing him. He gets 3-on-1 by the All-Stars. And the 2-5ers kind of get close to us. They're like, look, fool, separate your alliance with the All-Stars. And we jump for each other on race things, fool. We might as well jump for each other on gang. So I'm like, in my mentality, I'm like, nah, bro, like, we don't jump for 2-5ers. We don't jump on gang with 2-5ers, bro. It's just not our thing, dog. And so all this stuff is still going around me, but I still have this itch, this want to change, bro. And it was still there, bro. So I'm like living this very hypocritical lifestyle. I'm sitting there and I'm going into CGA classes and I'm talking about what my mentality is. I'm writing books and I'm talking about like different situations, bro. Like, like a little promotion, right? Like I'm writing about social sanctions that I received as growing up as a little gang member, and the adoration I received from older homies, and even like chicks that were just like, damn, this fool's a gangster. And so in my mind, I said, all right, it's good to be
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's how you achieve things, bro. And I went through that lifestyle cycle over and over again, bro, where I realized that even amongst cops, that they admire the men that stand above the rest, the men that are gang members that are going to have little anger problems, a little outbursts, and just say, I don't care about your job position, like, and they don't respect the people that act different. So all throughout my life, I've learned that this mask that I have on has benefited me, and but it's also my life. It also took like so much of my life, bro. It's drained me.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Time. All right. Yeah, bro. So there's like some major changes happening internally, bro. Perspectives are changing, and like for one example, I'm gonna give a quick example. When I'm writing my book, as I'm writing my book, I'm talking about things, and there's one occasion where I'm talking about I'm 13 years old, I'm living on the streets with some chick that's 19 years old, and she thinks I'm 16. But long story short, I'm gangbanging, bro, and I go in one day, I'm all shermed out, and I had just shot a 12-gauge shotgun, and I'm sitting there, and I'm really traumatized. I'm really traumatized because what my eyes had just seen, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, like, my homies were holding me by my belt buckle. I was hanging out a window, and I hit this fool up, and I shot this fool, and the image was, like, so fresh in my mind that I was just sitting there, like, shaking, but outwardly, I was just like, that fool. And I'm sitting here trying to open up to this woman, and she's all, like, glamour-eyed, like, damn, you're a G, like, you're a gangster, you know? And I'm like, man, bro, and I'm like reflecting on things like that. So it's kind of like, it's changing me, brother. Like, it's things are developing in me, bro, that I'm just like, man, I'm starting to notice that the decisions I made were limited, that I was limiting myself, you know, like, I don't make excuses. I know I did, whatever I did in my life was dead wrong. I shouldn't have done it. However, I understand the decisions I made were so tunnel vision that I need to break out that cycle. So but I'm still dealing with life threats. I'm still dealing with life threats in prison, behind bars. I still understand that if I walk away from IR, there's going to be a gang of gangs that are going to try to stab me and hurt me, assault me because they don't like me, bro. I was a soldier at one time, so they're against it. They're against what I stood for. So the major turn of events is as I'm writing my book, things are changing. I'm settled up with somebody that's getting Indian money, bro. He's getting Indian money. I'm talking to a few chicks. One of the chicks, I end up making an agreement with, like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna bring up money. I'm gonna give you some money. So it ends up happening, bro, like where this dude, my cellie, they run up on him because he's leaving to transferring to another prison, and they threaten him like, hey, bro, like, pay us some money. He promises, hey, bro, I'm gonna pay this money. You know, I'm an Indian. I get free, bro. When you do me a favor, just take care of these bills when you leave. So under my word, they let him walk away, and he had a $3,000 debt. On the side of that, I'm talking to this hyena, and she's like, hey, fool, look, give me $800. I'm gonna bring in some for you. You're straight. I'm trying to work out these engines so I can make some money. I'm writing a book. I have like 1,800 saved up. I end up getting burned for everything. That dude ends up not paying his debt, so I end up having, it all falls on me. And I remember I just going out there one day, and I'm like, bro, they're gonna stab me, dog. Like, this is over, bro. Like, so as I go out there, they're like, hey, bro, you let him walk away. You let him walk away, minor. And they're just screaming, dog. And I'm like, man, bro, like, look, dog, like, I did it because he was my friend, and I wanted to stand by him, bro, and I didn't want to leave him hanging, bro. But that fool did me wrong too, dog. You guys are complaining about money, bro. How do you think I feel? I gave you my word that his hyena was going to pay this debt, and it all fell. Besides that, I'm getting burned for $1,800 myself. So in my head, I'm starting to resolve I'm going to get stripped. I'm not going to be in IR any longer. This is changing. I don't.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm ready to make the decision I need to make to remove myself from under them. So as I'm going through my life, I'm showing them that I'm not interested in them. Like, I'm tired of it, dog. I'm tired of having to extrovert everybody's complaint to other people. I'm tired of having to answer for things that other people are doing that I'm not doing. I'm just trying to get by. I'm not even using drugs anymore. So it's like, why do I have to pay these people's debts? Why do I got to keep on getting involved in this book? And I'm trying to live a different life. I've always had a faith, you know, like if you like look at a lot of the things I lived through, is like sometimes it seems courageous, but I always had a faith in God. I always believed that God had my back in some type of way. So I was able to go into situations that I was really afraid of. I was scared. My heart would race fast. I would sweat under my armpits, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to get stabbed. I'm going to get beat. Something's going to happen to me. Teeth knocked out my mouth. The tailbone shattered. Like stuff like that. But I was able to walk into that situation assured that I was going to have, God had my back. So as I'm making these decisions, I'm by myself already because the dude left. He left me with a big ass debt, bro. People are looking to me like, you promised us you were going to pay this dude, so it's up to you. The people I most trusted, people on the street, they spend my money that I was saving to publish a book. They spend that money, bro, and like I'm like entering the stage, bro, that I'm like completely gonna break, you know. So I the day that I get stripped, I remember I was packing up all my stuff and I was getting prepared, and I was telling God while I was packing my stuff, like, look, God, like I was like, I don't deserve anything. I've been a I've been messed up. I know that I'm gonna live through this, and I promise you, as soon as this is done, I'm going to live my life for you. And I started reading Isaiah 54 verse 17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, that verse, and it's in the forefront of my mind. So they open my door, and it's like smile time. So I go out there, and I'm smiling. What's up, brothers? What you guys doing? They give me a handshake. What's up, bro? We love you. You know, we love you. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, bro, it's all good. You know. As I'm walking along, and dude tells me, hey, bro, hey, we love you. And I'm like, yeah, I love you too, bro. And that fool punches me. Boom. So he punches me, and other dude tries to trip my legs, and they're jumping me, bro. It's a 2-on-1. They're assaulting me. I'm like falling. Like it was near a hill. So when he punched me, I kind of like stumbled down the hill, and we're fighting. I'm like balled up at first, so they're swinging at me from going up the hill. So I'm kind of balled up, and they're just punching me, and they're like, get his face, get his face, get his face, watch his hands. I keep on hearing that, get his face, watch his hands, get his face, watch his hands. And dude's body was on top of me, so I'm like focusing on what I should do. How do I get out of this? So I grab my left leg, and I push it towards I push his knee. So I push his knee back, and he kind of flies forward. When he does that, other dude runs away. I jump up, and I looked at him, bro, and I told him, thank you, dog, like, for real, for I'm done. And that fool looked at me like, fuck you, like one of those looks. And the pepper balls start coming, the pepper balls start falling, and I hear a 2-5er say, hey, fool, we're gonna have to that fool up too. We're gonna get that fool. Like I can hear him talking about me from behind me, bro. And like, yeah, dog. Like I go to the hole. A 2-5er was in my van. He's like, hey, fool, like, we're glad you dropped out, bro. Like, you were like a gang member. You were with it, bro. You started a clique and everything, bro. Like, we're glad you dropped out, fool, because now it's just like, come on, fool, like, it's one less person we ought to worry about. But I stood true to my promise. You know, I told God, like, hey, bro, I'm done. This promise is over. Like, my lifestyle with them is over. So I've dedicated my life to living purely and living righteously before God and those type of things, bro, because that's where my heart's at. I know I don't go out there and I don't fake it anymore. I don't like, and that's what it ended up being, but that's what it has been all my life, bro. When I sit there and I think about it, I was putting on a mask because I was socially accepted in an environment where that mask benefited people, you know. Like I even had girls be like, hey, fool, like you're just like no one's gonna take you serious, bro, because you're a gangster, like and you live on the streets. That's what you do, you know. I've had cops be like, tell me, fool, like you could do so much, fool, just by yourself. Why are you a gang member? And it's always like I've come to understand that like my early childhood, that shit like played a very important part, but it's not an excuse for what I've done. I've done wrong things, and I live with that every single day. But today is a new day. I have to make decisions for today. So like I don't even talk to most people. I have people to be like, hey, fool, you're the founder of Marciano's, and I'm like, yeah, that was me, bro, but I'm different now. I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to publish some books. I'm trying to do things. You know, my relationships on the streets have like, they took a major blow because I got burned for money, bro. I got burned for money, but I don't hold it against them. I'm not going to take offense against things, you know, and that's a choice, you know. Like I had somebody the other day, like, because I'm a porter in here, some dude called me a you weirdo, and I sat there like, man, bro, like, my Sally tells me like, bro, it's cool that you could walk away from that now. And I told him like, bro, that's all I could do now, because that's the reaction I used to have. It doesn't benefit me. it doesn't do anything for me. And by the way, like, dude calling me that names, he doesn't know me, dog. Like, that dude's, like, he's alright, bro. And I sat there and I talked to dude, told him, like, bro, I'm a Christian, bro. Like, I understand you're mad. And it ends up being that he calls me and I don't answer to him, you know. And I'm like, bro, you could have told me that from the beginning, dog. Like, you know, but it's been a long road from where stabbing somebody because they called somebody else to sitting there and like telling the dude, God bless you, bro. Like, I don't hold nothing against you, brother. Like, whatever you're angry right now, I get it, bro. Like, I've been in those situations before where you're just mad at everything and you just want to lash out on everyone, you know. So that's the story, bro. Like, that's the story, bro. And you know, right now I still haven't had anything published in marketing and stuff like that, but I'm working towards that. And I believe, you know, I have faith that the Lord will create a way, you know. So if you could take anything from this, it's like, take this, right? Like, everything that I've done in my life was to fit an image, and that image was what I thought was beneficial to me, what I thought was kept me excelling in a tunnel, in a closet. And that's all I was doing, was excelling in a closet. Like, what I was doing was so limited that prison was the destiny, you know. And I thought about coming to prison when I was 11, 12 years old. Like, I'm going to go to prison, I'm going to gangbang. And
you have 60 seconds remaining.
But now it's just like, now I've opened my mind and I see different horizons, I see different opportunities, and I see different things that I want to do in my life. You get what I'm saying?